Had several people asking about the settings, so here's the settings I'm using in the game. Anti-aliasing high, post-processing ultra, shadows medium, everything else ultra, including foliage, no motion blur, 100% screen scale, brightness 50, 1080, full screen. Let's jump out. I don't want to go to the military base. See, I was running 4.5 gigahertz overclock, and the CPU was getting kind of hot, and I had my GPU overclocked as well. I went in last night and pretty much set everything to base, running 3.8 gigahertz on the i5 7600K, no overclock at all. I do have XMP enabled on the MSI motherboard, Z270 motherboard, and but that's it. No overclock on the GPU or anything, and this game seems to run better for some reason. So I'll show you the frame rate I'm getting right now. And this is while broadcasting using NVIDIA's software through the GPU, so it's probably a little better than this if you're playing without it. The only thing I can figure is the reason it runs better is because maybe the temperature was too high. Because now where it's hovering in the 60s, it was in the upper 70s and even in the 80s at some points. And the overclock with the temperature was not an issue on any game except this one. Alright, hadn't even been looking for anybody, better start. Yeah, just in my opinion on these settings, the game looks amazing, runs great. Just depending on where you're looking and what's being rendered, you in these settings run anywhere from mid 60s to over 100. I mean, it just depends on what you're doing. You know, right here, if you want to look all the way to the horizon, it's probably going to drop 70 up top of the hill. It'll probably jump up in the 90s. I mean, heck, you can look straight down and up it over 100 in an instant. So it's going to go up and down quite a bit, but all in all, it runs terrific considering it's early access game. On this particular setup, I can't speak to lower end PC how it would do. The R5 1600, the i5 7500. Well, it's just my personal opinion, and again, I have not used the Ryzen CPUs at all, but just watching the reviews from the different guys, which I respect their opinions on and watch what they do. Linus Tech Tips is a great one to go watch. J2 Cents, both those guys have got some great reviews on them, and it seems from what I've read and watched that in a straight gaming application, if that is your only goal and you're not going to be streaming or anything else, the Intel's probably a little better. However, productivity wise, video editing, frame rate while streaming, the Ryzen seems to do a little better. So, go check some of those guys out. Look at the reviews they've got. I'm sure there's a lot of other great guys on there's got reviews as well. That's just two that come to mind that I've looked at. And they could probably guide you in the right direction. I'm absolutely in no way an expert on any of that, but that's just my opinion on what I've looked at, basically from them. Either one's going to give you a great gaming experience. You're welcome, ma'am. My voice gives me the creeps when I hear it back, because your own voice never sounds the same way that you think it does when you hear it back on a video. You're like, who in the world is that talking? Ooh, doors are open here. I'm running an MSI Z270 SLI Plus motherboard. And to be honest, I don't really know why I got the huge SLI motherboard. I will probably never SLI it. That's hard to say. By the time I get to that point where a 1 GTX 270 is not doing what I need it to do, it'll probably be time for a new single card anyway, but I got that opportunity, and it really wasn't any more expensive than getting the single full ATX card without it, so. Yes. Z270 SLI is the MSI board that I've got. I just noticed here in the cities going through the houses, the frame rate's quite a bit lower than it was when it was overclocked. So that may be some of the guys that were commenting that had the i7s, maybe that's what you're experiencing, is what I'm experiencing now with a little lower frame rate in the cities without the overclock. It's in the 60s and 70s instead of the 80s, 90s. Deja vu. I feel like this is just the way I came. No, maybe it's the other side of town. I hate running across these open fields. It's a weird match. I haven't seen anyone. Doors are open. Red house over there. This always ends up one of those matches where I see no one and all of a sudden I just get shot from who knows where. Staying away. Alright, see, I told you. Never see anybody dead. I gotta get up here anyway. Alright, I appreciate you watching, man. I will see you guys later.